Hi, I'm Bjork.
Jimmy, nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Jimmy has been a magician since he was 6.
Well, because I was bullied in elementary school. One time I just saw this.
That was so mean. He just told me like such a deep thing. And I just nested him so hard.
NASA says it's too hot to go to the sun, then why don't we go at night when the sun turns off? Here's the twist. It'll be cold. Isn't that concerning?
Brilliant, Jonathan. Brilliant.
Hey, you know that you stole money out of my account? That was money for my kid? Heart surgery?
Why is you recording me right now? Like, you trying to...
Don't worry about why I'm recording you. I'm worried about what my money is.
Like, I begged you to take me to that concert. Why wouldn't you take me to the concert?
Because the concert is the least of my worries right now.
I don't care about that. Like,
my kid heart surgery is what I'm worried about right now.
Look, like,
and for you to take my money out of my account just to go to some Beyonce concert, you done lost your mind.
I don't care. Like,
I don't care what you don't care about.
Voice, like, right now.
Oh, me my money.
Ask your baby mom.
She ain't got nothing to deal with this. Nothing to deal with it. To go find me my...
Charlie's my dead cat. She's inside of Owen right now.
So when girls say yes, they mean yes. But when they say yes, they also mean no. When they say no, they sometimes mean no, but they sometimes also mean yes.
Yes.
Or it could be a maybe, but maybe is a yes. Yes, so maybe also means yes.
You do need to bring shame back. Because ladies, here's the thing. I talk about a certain caliber of man. And these men don't want children from another man. Ma'am, do you have any children?
Yes, I do.
You have a son?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So your son makes something of himself. He becomes an attorney, a well-regarded attorney, 35 years old. You think that he should bring home a woman with 3 kids by 2 different dudes?
I think he should bring home a woman who he loves.
No. See, you didn't answer. No. You know what? I'll let you go ahead. You think he should do what?
I think he should bring home whoever he please, whoever he's happy with.
Right.
Just because a woman doesn't have a kid doesn't mean that you're going to be happy with her.
Ma'am, where's your husband?
I've turned down 2 proposals.
How many children do you have?
I have 1 child.
Okay. Why are you so upset that I'm telling the reality that men want? Men don't want women who have children by other men, especially productive, competitive, especially productive, competitive, successful men. Higher value men choose overwhelmingly to start their own families. See, what you have a problem with, man, is men finally saying what men have always thought. If you don't want the downsides or consequences that come along with being a single...
Who's better at communication, men or women?
Women. Women are better at communication.
Women, for sure.
If men are worse at communication, why do so many women expect men to read their body language rather than just be direct?
Oh my God. I don't know.
Are men expected to be mind readers?
Yes.
Is there a difference between what women say that they want in a relationship and what they actually respond to?
Absolutely.
If so, how are women better at communication?
We're not.
But you just said that they were.
I lied. Clearly, I'm not communicating well. Duh.
That's quite the spicy take, channeling Blaise Pascal to dissect modern Western women. Let's break it down. Pascal said, the only shame is to have none. Well, fast forward to today, and it seems like the only fitting parallel for that might just be the Western woman. Whether it's baby mamas, blue-haired activists, or your average club-hopping socialites, many of these women walk around as if personal responsibility and self-awareness are strictly reserved for men. It's like they believe they've got this invisible shield, a divine firewall that lets them do whatever they want without facing any real consequences. Why? Because when they mess up, it's like the institutions spring into action, ready to bail them out. From the government to big corporations, they hand out these denial prescriptions like candy, making sure women can keep coasting without ever having to confront their own mistakes. It's like they've got a VIP pass to dodge accountability on the fast lane to hitting the wall. And how do we know this? Because people, like a modern-day Steve Irwin with a mic instead of a crocodile net, are out there in the streets, on podcasts, doing interviews, shining a light on the reality of what female empowerment has become. This isn't the empowerment anyone was expecting to see, but it's the product of a system that shields one gender from the consequences of their own actions.
Men do not take accountability, ever. ever. Anytime a girl says anything to a guy like, hey, I think men should do something different, they're like, oh, you just date the wrong men. Is this a global problem? Like, if women are all having a collective experience and saying the same things about men who also don't go to therapy, it's always men that anytime I say an issue that women have, they always turn it back on themselves.
What is the thing we need to take accountability for that we're not taking accountability for?
I think men have a tendency to, I think men, and Rolo.
For example?
Hold on. Like,
Error. Sometimes a woman can talk her out of a relationship. You can talk, we do that.
Yes,
we will talk.
I'm gonna say something, and this might ruffle little feathers. I don't think just being a good man is enough to stay in a relationship with them.
But when I say a good man, I mean like he's good. That means all around. That means himself, spiritually, mentally, physically.
That's great.
Healthily, like he's a good man.
That doesn't mean that he's the man for you. And maybe when you're going through these motions of getting to know him, you're realizing, okay, he's a great person, but honestly, I don't fuck with his humor. Like, he could be funny, but he's not funny to me.
And that's why a lot of modern women are getting 40 with 4 cats and no man, because
maybe that's what
he's a good man, but because he's not funny, you gotta throw that out.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Yeah, it's like the truth was there all along. But nobody had the receipts until now. Back when this movement started, men didn't have the tools to show what was happening behind the curtain. Fast forward to today, and we've got a whole archive of undeniable evidence, and it's all out in the open now. When the first clip started rolling, it was shocking for most people. I mean, who could have imagined? But now, after more than 2 decades of social media and endless content, it's clear as day. If you printed out all the proof showing how women have drifted away from anything resembling reliable femininity, you'd need an entire continent's worth of libraries to hold it. Terabytes of data flood the internet every day, showing that many women not only lack shame but have completely lost track of what it means to keep civilization on course. And here's the kicker: when this tidal wave of truth hit, the response was almost worse than the initial shock. Instead of waking up, it just confirmed 2 brutal realities. 1, modern women don't resemble what we once called femininity, not by a long shot. And 2, even when confronted with cold, hard evidence, they're so detached from reality that it doesn't even matter anymore. They see it and just shrug it off, like nothing happened. Now, we've reached the point where they throw around terms like the ick to describe anything that doesn't line up with their ever-expanding list of demands.
Well, they might.
It's like living in a fantasy world where they don't even know what they want or what's required to maintain society.
These chicks have signed off on for the last...
We're past the tipping point. This is the symptom of a generation completely unmoored from reality.
So does the wage gap exist?
I just think you're brainwashed.
Something? You think I'm brainwashed?
I think that there is a lot of expectations for women to behave a certain way.
Are there not expectations for men to behave a certain way too?
Yes, there are.
I would almost argue it's easier to start a business in America as a woman. You have preferential treatment when it comes to loans, preferential hiring processes. Literally just because you're a woman, women are the majority of college graduates. Life being a woman, I feel like in some ways kind of life on easy mode if you play into the corporate structure. They literally have empowerment programs that they don't allow men, let alone straight white men, in. There's literally a multi-billion-dollar corporate push to empower women. You know, you think I'm brainwashed, you can think that, but you also espouse an ideology that you can't even give me literally one example why you actually believe it, let alone define it, but you just slap that label on because that's what mainstream society's told you to believe. So I think you're actually the one who's brainwashed.
I'm brainwashed.
Girl, you are so based.
Thank you.
One drunk man is more intelligent than 3 women with PhDs.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you so much.
Exactly. Women use the ick as a defense mechanism to salvage their pride when a guy like Chad or Tyrone hits it and quits it. It's the mental gymnastics they pull to keep the dignity they feel slipping away. It's wild how, in the West, shame has been systematically bred out of them. Bed 5 guys in one night? That's not embarrassing anymore, it's a hustle. Underqualified for a job but handed the corner office? Boom. Instant boss babe because the company needed a diversity win. Had 3 kids, and the dad is footing the entire bill. Dump him. Clearly he's the one holding her back from her full potential. It's like we're living in some twisted simulation where women no longer feel like they have to bring anything of value to the table. They're playing dress up as the new and improved man. But here's the thing, the system's been rigged in their favor for so long that they don't even realize they're running on fumes. The bar has been set so low that as long as they shout out the patriarchy as their villain, they'll get a trophy just for showing up. It's pure propaganda at this point, with these women rattling off the same worn-out talking points, acting like they're blazing new trails. And this right here is the inevitable outcome.
What kind of jobs have you been applying for?
I wasn't doing like retail or fast food for
Okay,
sure.
why? Because that's the one industry that literally anyone can get a job today. That's not where I want you to work, but if we've ran out of our savings and we can't afford to survive, I think we're taking a paycheck from anywhere because any paycheck is more than $0.
I didn't want to work at a retail or fast food.
And that's a childish
And it is,
choice.
but see, even
because you have a kid to take care of.
Caleb, quit interrupting me, please.
Do you accept that you're wrong for that? Any money, $15 an hour for 40 hours a week is congratulations, more money than $0 when we can't afford to live. If you have no money and you're not getting unemployment or food stamps, you need money, which requires work, which might be at a job you do not like. You agree?
I don't, but we're just going to keep arguing. Why does it matter if
but
I
I
don't
want to
agree?
hear how you do not agree. How do you not agree that $1 is better than $0? How? Because if your maturity level is not there, then what's even the point of the conversation then going forward?
All right, picture this. You just wrapped up your starring role as a rebellious motorcycle renegade. You roll into a lab, drop your pants, and tell the chemists, all right, folks, I need you to swab my nethers and create the manliest fragrance the world has ever seen. Fast forward, and they come back with a bottle of Motor Muska scent so powerful, it's supposed to restore manhood across the globe. You gather a group of marketing execs, expecting them to be absolutely blown away by your brilliance. But nah, they don't just pass on the idea they call security, report you to the police, and make sure you never work again. And honestly, they'd be 100% right. You'd be the guy who tried to unleash chaos on the world in cologne form, and society would rightly reject it like, bro, what were you thinking? Now, here's the kicker while you're getting dragged out in cuffs. Meanwhile, Gwyneth Paltrow and her crew are out here making products like butt molds and gynocentric fragrances getting applause like they just cracked the code to immortality. Seriously, where's the logic? You try something like Motor Musk and you're a certified lunatic. But Paltrow's over here selling who knows what. And everyone's like, yes, queen, it's hilarious and tragic at the same time. We've hit a point where Western women can release the most ridiculous products under the banner of empowerment, and instead of being laughed off the stage, they're celebrated. It's like they found a loophole in reality, say it's empowering, and suddenly it's untouchable. Meanwhile, the rest of us are over here scratching our heads wondering how we got to this point.
Hi.
Do we need men?
I don't need a man.
You don't need a man?
No.
Do we need men?
No, we don't.
Do we need men?
No, we do.
Do we need men?
What?
Do we need men?
No.
Do we need men?
No.
Do we need chips?
We need chips, no men. Men don't need to live. We're fine.
We need chips.
We need men.
Sorry?
Do we need men?
We need what?
Men.
Yes.
Do we need men?
Do what?
Do we need men?
I don't think so.
Do we need men?
Huh?
Do we need men?
No.
No.
Do we need men?
Do we need men?
Do we need men?
I don't need a man. I don't need a man.
Do we need men?
Not really.
Okay.
We don't need them, but it's nice to have them sometimes.
Do we need men?
Men? No, not really.
Why not?
I don't need them.
Do we need women?
What?
Do we need women?
Yeah.
Do we need women?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, the old 5 times a week saga. If I had $1 for every time I've seen this question pop up, I could retire in style. Here's the thing, if you're not ready to wake up and smell the roses or the coffee or whatever gets you going, then what are we even doing here? Let's be real, outside of some entertainment value. This whole debate is an elusive carrot these modern chicks love to dangle. They're like, come on boys, chase this, while the real priorities like strength, purpose and opportunity are left in the dust. It's wild how so many so-called elites, the simps in suits, who don't know how an economy or even a civilization functions, gather around these ladies asking, what's the point of all this and what do they get in return? Crickets. No answers, just more questions, more complaints, and billions pumped into this hot air balloon that does nothing but float in circles. Why, you ask? Because this is the feminist game, plain and simple, complain about nothing, demand compensation for even less. It's like a magic trick with no punchline, they make money disappear into thin air. But no one knows why. Here's the kicker, this whole ruse has been running for nearly a century, and for a while it kind of worked. Back then, women held the spatula, rocked the diaper duties, and felt a sense of responsibility. There was a deep-rooted shame if the home fell apart on their watch. But somewhere along the line, things changed. The box that once had value, wrapped in the illusion of tradition, is now just that, a shiny bow with nothing inside. So what woke men up? What finally flipped the switch? Simple men realized the box is empty. All the promises, the expectations, the cultural conditioning that said, you must do this to get that, was a scam. A con that no longer held water, because modern women stopped bringing anything of value to the table. And that's the punchline: the jig is up. Men have left the building.
Should men believe that women will submit in a relationship if they won't even submit in an argument?
Because in an argument, you're not really thinking clearly, I guess.
Right. Like, us as women, we react off of emotions, so sometimes we do say things out that we just truly don't mean. Yeah. So
a lot of the times when a woman doesn't want to feel like she's wrong, she'll say something to play against a man, or she'll try to change it up because she knows she's wrong. Like, she won't admit to like her issues, her problems. So how are you supposed to fix a relationship? A man should not be expected to submit to a woman who can't even take a wrong in an argument.
And then, boom, the bears come. Honestly, we all needed a laugh right about now. But let's not gloss over how perfect this is as a metaphor for what's going down in the world today. The irony in the whole pro-female narrative is thick enough to slice. The more men build a safe, functioning civilization, the more women convince themselves they're invincible without masculinity, a force that literally shot us into space by striving for excellence and embracing accountability. You see these clips with almost every Western woman proudly declaring, "I don't need no man," all while they're decked out in materials designed and produced by men, munching on snacks created by men, walking on roads paved by men, heading back to homes built by, you guessed it, men. And they're dead serious. But here's the kicker: the whole bear question, and their naive answers, is exactly what happens when women haven't faced any real, valuable shame for decades. It's like they've been so far removed from danger that they now look at a bear the same way they look at Simba from The Lion King, not as a wild, ferocious creature, but as a harmless stuffed animal they snuggled with on cold winter nights. Men were so good at building a society insulated from harm that women could bake cookies, pour tea, and march around with protest signs without ever worrying about some beast ripping through their cozy evening. And that, my friends, is the ultimate paradox of civilization. Without sexual restraints or the humbling lessons from the wild, these women are as cut off from common sense as they are from the actual forces of nature that could lay waste to their worldview. That's why they can pull off these clumsy mental gymnastics without ever hitting the floor, because the very structure built to protect them is the same one that shields them from reality.
Kipling poem is one of my favorites. My father read it to me once. To me as a little boy, it summed up what a man should be. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowances for their doubting too, if you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same, or watch the things you gave your life for broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at the beginning, and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are done, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. Yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
Gentlemen, the world is yours, and it always has been. You stand on the shoulders of men who understood the true value of lessons learned, no matter how hard or painful they were. The beauty of this moment. The lesson you're facing now isn't even a tough one to grasp. You don't have to dig deep or wrestle with it. All you need to do is refuse to carry the shame that was never yours to begin with. That shame? It's a product of their own choices, their own mess. Yet, when confronted with the facts, it's met with silence and denial, so leave it where it belongs. Instead, focus on your own life, your own goals, and figure out your next move. The world we live in is tough, unforgiving, and filled with consequences. You already know that. But here's the thing: if you're the kind of man who seeks out a channel like this, I have zero doubt that you'll not just survive in this environment, you'll thrive. Take ownership of your path, embrace the lessons, and make it clear the future belongs to men who refuse to be burdened by someone else's mistakes. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found value